Calling all units, calling all units. Donut shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.
You're a mean one,
Mr. Grinch.
I don't know how to... Anyways, welcome everybody. What's up, Justin? Sitting on the other side of the table.
Yeah, it's been a little while. It's been like 17-ish episodes or so since I sat over here.
Yeah, so what's going on is we didn't want to go, especially this week, without putting out an episode, so we're going to make a shorter episode. And we're just going to talk to everyone out there that's working, and we wanted to make it and show an appreciation to those that are listening. We got a lot of first responders that are listening that have to work on this holiday season coming up, especially Christmas Eve, Christmas, and you got to be away from your families.
New Year's, yeah.
To serve the public. You got firefighters doing the same. We got to mention them. And nurses, medical people. So let's make an episode, Jay.
Yeah, just a little quickie. Just say, hey, what's up? And talk about some holiday stories or maybe some of our favorite holiday traditions.
Yeah, and we want you guys to play along in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, all that jazz, go over to YouTube, play along in the comment section. And we want to know what's going on with you guys and your favorite stuff. But we got our boy, the Grinch, here. And you know his name?
Max.
Max!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were talking about it before this. The Jim Carrey version of the Grinch.
Yes.
I love that.
Which we'll get into. I want to get into working on the holidays.
Yeah.
But first, let's warm it up, Jay. Favorite holiday movie, since you just revealed mine. And I relived holiday movies because my son.
Yeah.
Because he was born, and I got back into the kid stuff. I had kind of got away from the kid movies, and I just started, watching these kid movies again. And gotta be one of my faves is the Jim Carrey Grinch. Was a great movie for me.
It is a great one. My brother does the whole monologue when the Grinch is talking to Max.
Yeah.
About like, but what would I wear?
Yeah,
and does the whole. My brother does it all the time. He
Nice.
Even painted his face and stuff, and he does the whole Grinch with the gloves and everything.
Can we put him up on our Donut Shop podcast Instagram?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's post that video.
Yeah. Go over and you'll see You'll see my brother's video.
Yeah.
I'll have him send it to me, or I'll grab it from him.
I like the old one. The Dr. Seuss old one wasn't bad. I liked it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't one of my faves. It was good.
Yeah.
Not putting it down, but when he played it, I was like, oh, that was perfect.
Yeah.
So kind of like when no one. I'm sorry, Will Smith, but Robin Williams owns the genie in Aladdin.
Right. Yeah.
You put that stamp on it, and no matter who comes after, it's like, I don't know about that.
My favorite being, you made me think about one of them. I do love those Rudolph the Reindeer kind of claymation old school ones.
Yeah.
But, nowadays there's these channels that have the movies kind of going and going and going, and we'll always stop and stay on Home Alone. So
Home Alone.
Yeah, I love Home Alone, Kevin McAllister. No matter how unrealistic it might be as far as, beating up burglars with paint cans and torching people.
My son is into it now, and he loves it. He loves Home Alone. And as growing up as a kid, you redid the little booby traps and stuff around the house. He tried to do the booby. Never really worked out like in the movies.
Yeah.
But did that, and then he pretty much tried to kill these guys.
Yeah, kill them. But it's classic, and you can still watch it, and it's just still funny. And you just, as an adult, you might be like, oh man, put myself in my shoes. You're an 8-year-old, or what is he supposed to be, like 8 years old or something like that? And it's like to survive in a house and everything. But it's an awesome movie. The soundtrack always brings back that nostalgia and stuff. Yeah. I don't know, is it a Danny Elfman? I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
It had a lot of Christmas classics. Yeah. And it had its own little orchestra.
Yeah. Jingles and tunes and stuff like that.
When he was running around the house and everything.
Hitting that statue with the van. The statue always gets run over.
Yes. What's the one when he's in the bathroom?
Oh yeah.
What's that song? Damn, you don't have your.
I just know my laptop's over with the Grinch, but it's the merriest cat The hairiest cat that you ever did see. He's like, get out of here, you little punk.
Yeah.
That's the best.
When you see me walking down the street.
And just Kevin just pulling the strings like in the bathtub. Like, it's just like,
get out of here, you.
Yeah.
Pervert, you little pervert.
Yeah. Those are the best. I mean, it's just, it reminds me of being a kid and stuff. So those were always fun. So
that family was mean. They guys like, look what you did, you little jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Buzz always picked on him. So I understand why he wanted to. I wish my family would just disappear.
Yeah, and it came true.
Yeah.
So it was good. John Candy was in the original.
And what part?
He was the polka band.
Yeah.
He was a polka band.
Yes.
And I had seen a story recently that he got paid like next to nothing to do that movie.
Yeah.
He just said, "Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it." And it was like it was a very well-known character, even though you forgot a very well-known character for him that he played. And he was kind of one of those. In these Christmas movies, there's always that like extra random person that kind of helps one of the main characters like realize the meaning of Christmas or something like that. And so he kind of did that. He's a road musician, doing his polka stuff.
I think Christmas movies is all about traditional stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It is like, I remember watching that as a kid and so on and so forth. And just Christmas in general, like that. When I do it at my house, it's always like, remember when we got this decoration and we put the year underneath it and you look back, 1992, like, wow, I still have this stuff. So I think tradition is big.
Right, like people collect the Hallmark ornaments yearly. I remember in our tree as a kid, I had those ornaments. We had all those. I think my dad, we had Star Trek ones. He had all the different Star Trek ships and stuff like that. And,
the enemy.
Yeah,
Star Wars.
Star Wars, yes, Star Wars. But I was raised a Trekkie.
Is there really beef?
It is.
Star Wars versus Star Trek we're talking about.
Silly segue for those of you that don't know. I'm in the 501st Legion. It's a Star Wars costuming group.
Yeah.
So when we would do comic conventions, the Trekkies are there. They have a booth. And so I'm probably going to go super deep dive for people that may not know. Yeah. But there's this thing from Star Trek called a Tribble. That's it's just like a little fuzzy puffball, and it's a classic episode of Star Trek. Well, they would kind of pick on us and like goof around and leave them in our booth in random places, or they'd go like to the other side of a wall and throw it over like a grenade or something. So there's a Trek, but then we'd just go invade them with our Imperial forces and usually win. So a lot of nerd stuff.
Whenever you go to a convention, you always got to go in twos because you never know if those Trekkies are in the bathroom.
Oh, totally, man. Yeah, they might come and try and get after you.
Battle buddies.
Yeah. So So my dad, big Star Trek, and I am too. Star Wars is just more fun to dress up.
Favorite Christmas song? Go.
Oh man!
All right, how about this?
I'm super slow.
Okay, I'll take it because I already had the question in my mind. I already know my answer.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna ask the questions and answer, and then we'll move on to the next one. Frank Sinatra, for some reason, one way or another, I guess because he sings the Christmas music as well, and it was one of the greatest Christmas selling albums. But just every time I hear him, like the Summer Wind, and like all the classic Frank stuff, I automatically associate it with Christmas.
Yeah.
For some reason, one way or another. So anything Frank Sinatra, to me, that's my go-to when it comes to Christmas music.
Yeah, and I do like the same thing with Michael Bublé a little more recent. Love his stuff, love his voice, but it's very Frank-esque. Yeah. But I'd say that the Kelly Clarkson. Can't even remember the name. Should have done my research and written it down. But there's a Kelly Clarkson Christmas song. If you can remember, help me out and put it in the comments.
Do you think if they knew the song, they would actually write it down? Like, I don't want everyone to know I listen to this stuff.
I got you. Well, here, I'll just pull up like my little mini computer.
So,
but yeah, go ahead.
You know what else I like? I like the raspy, like piano bar, like
Santa
loungy. Baby, hurry down the chimney tonight. I mean, I don't sound.
There it is, right
like
there. Second pick, Kelly Clarkson Christmas, wrapped up in red. I think it's under the Christmas tree.
Okay.
Yeah, underneath the Christmas tree.
Well, the raspy.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson. Sorry to interrupt.
How do you sing it? Give me a little karaoke.
I don't know. It'll get demonetized on YouTube, so it'll ruin it.
So much like Kelly Clarkson.
So close.
True that. But the Santa Baby, that was that any type of voice like that. Like in the movie The Elf, another great Christmas movie, they do a unbeknownst to the girl in the shower, Will Ferrell's on the sink singing, "It's cold outside, maybe it's cold outside."
Isn't he like squatting on the sink too? Like he's like,
And then she comes out and like kicks him out or whatever.
Yeah.
So the those types, I like loungy, I guess, kind of Christmas music. And then to set the mood and just like if it's dinner time, I'll play that, or it's Vince Vinadelli. I don't know his name, but it's from the Snoopy's Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah.
When they're ice skating and doing like this little like piano music like that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Vince Vinadelli. I don't know the name of it, but it's something like that. It's good.
With Elf always, I always like reference Elf when you're in a city and you're crossing the street and you're just, the yellow ones don't stop.
Yeah.
You know, I just always with the taxi cabs and stuff. It's just, it's funny to me.
So, favorite holiday meal, and I'll take it.
Go.
Pork, Spanish-made pork. Venir is called. My wife makes a great Cuban pork, and there's also my aunt, Titi Yaya, shout out, makes a phenomenal Puerto Rican prepared pork. Oh man, both lights out. So pork for me, any pork, and then my mom has she makes Christmas cookies. The recipe's been passed down through generations. Delicious.
Ooh,
Delicious.
Christmas cookies. Our meals are, especially in the last 12 years or so, we've been a little untraditional. I mentioned my brother earlier. He works for Disney, so I'm pretty sure I can say that. Yeah. It's not a secret, but he works for Disney. He works for the mouse. So that's a big focus of time for them. So then not a lot of people get off, and they, just like our first responder friends, have to work over the holidays. So he's up there, and we want to spend Christmas with him and not completely abandon him. Yeah. And so we go up there, oh, shucks, that's a tough time, go up to Disney. But we go up to Disney, and so usually it's a park type meal where it's we have reservations for one of the many restaurants in Disney World. We just hit that up and enjoy ourselves and enjoy our time. And even as recent, we will then after go over to his house. He's got his tree set up and everything, and we'll do Christmas Eve. Because Christmas morning he's usually working, man. So we'll do presents and everything like that on like late night Christmas Eve. We'll do it a little early.
So moving through now to get to working on the holidays.
Yeah.
You remember working? I mean, do you have to work now?
I don't. I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
I don't have to. I have the opportunity to take off, and so yes, I do take off. And before that, I was working in the schools, so I had the opportunity, because you can't take off while you're working in the schools. Yeah. I could take the whole 2 weeks of Christmas, so that worked out even better for this Disney trip. Yeah. Nowadays I'm not in the schools, but I'm taking this week off coming up, starting Christmas Eve. But I can't remember if I worked Christmas. I know I've worked several New Year's Eves, which is another one of those where you're kind of you're going into work and you're looking at all your friends, especially on social media, getting ready to go out and going out and partying or getting together at a house and having a good time. So I've worked several New Years, but I don't remember.
So you being a first responder out there, I think your crew that you work with kind of makes the holidays.
Yep.
Even if you have a good sergeant or something. And you do something, generally when it's some downtime, if you could get a little meal. I know some officers and sergeants and people that are off, they'll come in and they'll prepare a meal for the guys that are working, the girls that are working. But your crew, and you just try to make the best of it because everyone's dealing with the same thing. Mm-hmm. Nowadays with FaceTime, because back when we started, there was no FaceTime, but it makes it a little bit easier, but still. And I would always try to make that little portion, because if you're working midnights, you'll get home and then your kids are waking up or whoever's waking up, and you can spend that little bit of time with them on Christmas morning. But if you're working mornings, well, on Christmas Eve, you could work that, you can spend that little bit. Whatever little window I had, I would try to spend that time and make it, like you said, everything's happening now. This is when it's happening. And you just fight the, if you're waking up, if you're doing midnights and then it's Christmas morning, just drowsy throughout that whole Christmas. It's been a couple Christmases where I'm like,
yeah. Hey, Dad, I need you to build this for me, or I need you to, set up this race car set or whatever, and get it all set up, and you're like, but you got to do what you got to do. Cafecito and
coffee,
some jet fuel,
motivated, caffeinated, dedicated.
Get going.
I think for me, and we'll get to you, and then we also look, since the Grinch and Max aren't talking that much on the show. If you're listening in podcast,
I think it's that seat.
We have Grinch and Max. They're supposed to be fact checking us on the computer. They're hanging out in Justin's traditional seat, but we want you guys to play along and go along with all these questions and topics we're talking about. But anyways, for the holidays, as far as holidays go, I think for me the hardest one to work was Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
New Year's, I really didn't care because I wasn't really a big partier or anything.
Yeah.
For me, as far as my attachment to what I was leaving behind. And what about you?
I mean, not necessarily this holiday season, but Halloween was always a hectic time working and stuff. But
for you personally to say, man, I can't do what I normally do. I have to go to work.
Yeah,
I'm cool with letting go Halloween. I'm like, I don't really care about Halloween.
Yeah.
I don't dress up anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not my big. What would be your big thing?
Yeah, probably New Year's, because I've always been the going out and celebrating New Year's and stuff, being at somebody's house, or if we're in Disney, so having to work and miss out on the opportunity to enjoy a good party.
Enjoy a good party. Just in the tank. We're going streaking.
Yeah. So good times. But New Year's was tough, but realistically, there's always another party. There's always another good time with friends and stuff like that. You got to do your thing and work when you gotta.
So New Year's was the easiest to let go, but one of the hardest to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because of right around first, it's dangerous. Oh my God, with all these drunk drivers out there, and you're trying to enforce and not get hit. And then come around midnight, you got people shooting in the air.
Yeah.
And it's not little guns. Sometimes AK-47s.
Yeah.
And so we would park under the expressway under 95, I-95, park under there, and then we would also don our helmets, our ballistic helmets, if we had to go out, and we would answer calls. But we would answer calls from underneath the 95. So we would all park under there. And then if something goes out and we got to go, officers will respond. Once they're done, head back under the 95. And there was a window of about...
That's smart.
Yeah, like probably 20 minutes prior to, 20 minutes after, when we were just taking cover underneath shelter out in the jurisdiction or the area that we were patrolling. So 95 ran right over our area.
Yeah, we usually would run they do kind of like a tone on the radio, and the sergeants have already told us what to do, and they said, just go seek shelter during that time. So non-emergency calls just got held for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So I remember one New Year's, I was coming back from a call, and I was just like, I need to run into Shell station, or I need to run into the gas station to get something. And I was going to meet some people in shelter and stuff. And the attendant goes, hey, we're leaving right after midnight. Would you do us a favor and hang out? And they had, they had benches in there because they had kind of a pseudo restaurant, like some of those gas stations that have like a Shell station. Or, I mean, not a Shell, a Subway inside or something. So they said, hey, we're packing up. The doors are locked, but can you hang out? Because they were just nervous about walking out to their cars right at midnight. And I was like, you know what? Hey, I'm supposed to take shelter. I'll hang out here with you guys. So I just hung out at the gas station with them. I was under shelter, listened to the radio. Knock on wood, no, we were good. No emergency calls, and so I spent New Year's Eve in it was a Shell gas station. So it is what it is.
A little bit different than Frank the Tank.
Yeah, man, not out at the casino or whatever. So, but it was good, and just talking to people and
and then. What some other holidays? 4th of July is a nightmare to work because of that. Shots fired call going off every single 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Once.
4th of July, I generally work. Like in our city, we've got a big festival. We have a parade in the morning, and so I work the parade, and then at night we have a 4th of July concert and everything at the arena and fireworks display. So I've worked that because my unit, when I was a school resource officer, we always worked that event. That's like our event that we're in charge of, and I'm still kind of part of that unit. So I'm still working it on 4th of July.
Yeah.
We didn't have it this year, but so working that.
Yeah, one of the easiest holidays, Easter.
Easter.
Very easy, low key.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People just chilling. It's I guess because it's Sunday, everyone at church. It's not really, turn up Easter.
Might get some domestics, family getting together, doing Sunday brunch, and then getting tired of each other.
Yeah, but grandma usually breaks it up before they get to the police anyways.
Break it up. So
Easter, we have locally on MLK Day, it's dirt bikes. Wheels up, guns down, wheels up. Great idea. The wheels up, guns down. However, the actual event is motorcycles and just running all over the highways,
taking over traffic.
Yeah,
and being kind of crazy. One time on Thanksgiving, our sergeant's wife fixed everybody in the squad. I think we were platoons back then. We were like 50-50. This was probably 15 of us. Fixed a spread. And so everybody ate and everything, came in a little early. And then we took up our briefing time before we needed to hit the streets. And it was one of those where, all right, nap time, right? You can't take naps, but probably a bad idea to eat that Thanksgiving type meal and then go on duty. We had one of those alert tones, and it was a mentally ill person with a machete. Our guys were running the streets, running around on foot because the guy took off on foot, jumping fences and stuff like that. So once they apprehended him to take him to the hospital and stuff, it was vomit central. So here comes Thanksgiving. Look at all that stuffing.
At Thanksgiving, I usually, if there's something going on, maybe I bring some food from home, heat it up. Thanksgiving for me wasn't that big of a deal. Food, but Christmas was my big thing. Christmas. What about Valentine's Day?
Nope, not even a blip on the radar, except for all the chocolate.
But is that hard to work?
No.
Like, sorry, babe, can't go out. Valentine's Day.
I think I've been lucky. I might have been lucky. I don't know if I actually worked a Valentine's Day on the road.
My wife doesn't get mad because every day is Valentine's Day in my household.
Right. I mean, like my wife and I now, like we try to do Valentine's Day on the 13th or the 12th. Just because we don't have to fight with everybody to get into a restaurant, And
then everyone looks at you like, oh, he's bringing his side chick.
Yeah.
It's side chick Valentine's Day. He's buying that 50 or the 80% off candy for his side chick.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No Valentine's Day issue.
Fabricated holiday.
I've been lucky to not work St. Patrick's Day.
Shashai.
So yeah, usually I'm partaking on St. Patrick's Day, parades and such in Fort Lauderdale.
What's some of the dangers you think? What do you think is typical calls around the nation that you're gonna get on because it was the first holiday coming up is Christmas? What do you think typically would be the calls there?
I mean, so there'd probably be a list.
Yeah.
So during, you might have, like I said before, domestics where people are getting together. At Christmas vacation. Cousin Eddie comes to the house and eventually gets knocked out. And then somebody calls the cops about it. Arguing or whatever. And then maybe right after, sometimes the burglaries. We do those crime prevention tips. Yeah. Don't put that big screen TV box or that PlayStation 5 box out on the curb.
Yeah.
Tear
box. Yeah.
Tear it up, hide it. If you got a little campfire or a little fireplace, burn those boxes. Yeah. That way, thieves don't say, there's a brand new TV. There's a brand new PS5 in there.
That's a good one.
So they get those, sometimes you get those burglaries after. I
had Christmas. I had a new bike. It was like 12 years old, and I was finished riding it, and I left it out on my front porch, and it got stolen. It got stolen. I was 12 years old, 10, I don't know, 10.
Was it you?
Yeah, stolen on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's cold, man.
Yeah,
That's cold.
I was destroyed.
That's cold.
I was destroyed.
Or then
Life's hard, kids. Suck it up. So
sometimes there's accidents out there, because you got
DUI,
a lot of drinking, a lot of drinking on the holidays, and so you get those accidents and stuff. So it's we're not void of activity and work, but knock on wood for everybody. We hope Christmas is a nice and safe night for you.
Nice and safe night.
I won't use any of those bad words.
And then fire rescue probably dealing with, and we don't know. We're just guessing, but maybe leading up to Christmas, people up on ladders falling down, putting up lights, their trees drying out, catching on fire.
Catching fire. Yeah. I know. I said that. My wife said that when we leave to go to Disney, can we leave the tree on? And I go, it's a real tree. Like this thing is going to dry out if somebody's not filling that pot with water underneath it. So I was like, no, we're not gonna turn on a timer on the Christmas tree because house fires. What else was I gonna say? Oh, like things like Thanksgiving, and then even on Christmas, people might deep fry turkeys.
Yes.
So you get those accidents, those bad burns.
Yeah. Those are brutal, man. Those turkey fryers.
Yeah, turkey fryers, explosions if you do it wrong.
Yeah.
They're great if you do it right.
And then the average Joe might throw some water on that grease fire.
Ooh, don't do it. Don't do it.
We should have Alex back for. We should have had Alex back for this one.
Holiday safety tips.
Yeah. But we just wanted to come on and talk to you guys. I know you're out there either patrolling or at the station or the nurses. Shout out to you guys working on the holidays.
And you Disney workers.
Sometimes if you gave the option, because people are like, but you're gonna make double pay. If you give the option to these officers out there, they'd rather spend it with their family or first responders. There's not enough money you can pay me to not be there on Christmas if you gave me the option.
Right.
You know what
or
I mean?
Those of us like me without kids that jump on it sometimes if somebody with kids has it and they want to do a switch.
Oh, shout out to those guys.
So shout out to you. Yeah. If you're taking the hit and doing the switch because you had the day off, but you wanted to help out somebody with a family to be there with their kids and stuff. So that's
thank you, Officer J's out there in the world. Yeah. Well, Jay, you got anything else?
No, man. I'm out having fun right now.
All right. So salute to all the first responders out there working. You guys be safe.
Cheers.
And we'll catch you next week when we have our friend. Who's going to be on next week?
Probably Officer Hodgers.
Okay.
Going to come on.
So he's going to come on.
So hopefully you got a mug. Hopefully you got a mug for Christmas.
Yeah.
And if you're disappointed and didn't get a mug,
you could always return the item that you got and go to
DonutShopPodcast.com. Get yourself a mug.
This guy is a mug dealer. You are a mug dealer.
A mug dealer. So.
Oh, are you panhandling mugs on the show?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad.
Calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.